Welcome to the TOEFL Listening section. In this section, you will listen to an academic lecture and then answer questions about what you heard. You may take notes while you listen. You will have time to review your notes before answering the questions. Listen to part of a lecture in a university class. You will hear the lecture only once, so listen carefully. After the lecture, you will answer some questions about what you heard. Some questions ask about the main ideas and supporting details. Other questions ask you to make inferences or connections between ideas. Answer each question based on what is stated or implied in the lecture.
Good morning. Today we will examine pyramid construction theories and the engineering methods proposed to explain how the Great Pyramids of ancient Egypt were built. Over the next 45 minutes, I will survey the principal hypotheses, consider the archaeological evidence, and use case studies to show how scholars evaluate competing models. First, let us consider external ramp theories. For many decades, the dominant idea was that massive straight ramps of mud, brick, and rubble were extended from the plateau to the growing face of the pyramid. Proponents point to the simplicity of a straight ramp and to experimental work showing that sledges dragging heavy blocks could be hauled up inclines. Critics argue that the enormous volume of material needed for such a ramp would be impractical, and that no clear archaeological traces of such ramps survive at Giza. A variant is the zigzag or switchback ramp. This design reduces the footprint and the quantity of fill required. It could involve ramps that change direction on platforms. Again, archaeological confirmation is limited, but some reliefs and later texts suggest complex ramp systems. A third idea is the spiral or encircling ramp. Such a ramp would wrap around the exterior as the pyramid rose. Its advantage is a smaller base area, but opponents question how masons could dress and set the fine casing stones on steep outside faces if a ramp remained in place. Now consider the internal ramp hypothesis proposed for Khufu. Jean-Pierre Houdin suggests that a ramp was built inside the body of the pyramid, with a spiral gallery that guided blocks upward and allowed the exterior to be finished. This theory explains some features, like apparent voids inside the structure, but it remains controversial because direct proof is limited. We also have levering hypotheses and combinations of methods. Some engineers propose that short ramps, levers, and wooden sledges in concert allowed workers to lift blocks in stages. Practical experiments have demonstrated that small teams can reposition heavy blocks using simple levers and fulcrums. Archaeological evidence helps us evaluate these theories. A famous piece of iconographic evidence is the tomb painting showing a large statue on a sledge with a man pouring water in front. This image supports the idea that water was used to reduce friction when moving heavy loads. Labor organization is central to any construction model. Modern estimates based on quarrying, hauling, and setting stones place the workforce for Khufu at something like 20,000 individuals working in rotating shifts, rather than the 100,000 suggested by Herodotus. A critical documentary breakthrough was the discovery of the Mara papyri from the reign of Khufu. The papyri record the activities of a logbook clerk named Mir and describe the transport of Tura limestone by boat to Giza. The discovery of the Mara papyri provides direct evidence of organized transport of limestone to Giza for Khufu's pyramid. This document strengthens logistical models that emphasize well-coordinated staging areas, harbor facilities, and teams specialized in quarrying, transport, and stone dressing. Let me turn to case studies. The Bent Pyramid and the Red Pyramid at Dashur illustrate experimentation in slope and core construction. The Bent Pyramid shows a change of angle partway up, suggesting builders adapted their methods in response to structural concerns. In contrast, at Giza, the fine Tura limestone casing required careful finishing and handling. Theories must account for how casing blocks were precisely set and how inner core masonry was raised without damaging the exterior. Finally, we must emphasize that no single theory yet explains all evidence. The most plausible conclusion is that ancient builders used a flexible combination of ramps, sledges, water lubrication, levers, and highly organized logistics tailored to each project. For the next session, I want you to read two short papers. One defends external ramp models, and the other critiques them while supporting internal ramp possibilities. Compare the evidence and be ready to argue which is more convincing.
Listen again to part of the lecture, then answer the question.
The discovery of the Merer papyri provides direct evidence of organized transport of limestone to Giza for Khufu's pyramid.
This concludes the listening section. For more TOEFL practice tests and study materials, visit Spinta.org.